everybody. Happy Monday and welcome to Monday Club. This is Gus Davis. With me, as always, is my good buddy Peter Bois. We are going to be doing our cheers of the week to dogs drinking beer. Pete gets a new car. I totally wipe out on a dirt bike. We're going to be talking about strip clubs. It's going to be an amazing Monday. Stick around.
Cheers, my good man.
Cheers, my friend. How are you doing, buddy?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm so happy that it's Monday for so many reasons, not the least of which is that I can actually pick up my beer today, which I couldn't have done like a few days ago, so I'm pretty excited about that.
That sounds like you burned yourself. I don't know. What were you in a terrible fire that I didn't know about?
No, man. Let's just say that I did a sweet jump on a dirt bike. The jump was sweet. The landing, not so much.
That sucks. I am so excited for Monday, too, because I needed a day off.
I hear that, man.
It's nice to be hanging on a Monday.
Sure enough, man. Monday's the new weekend. Let's keep that going. It really gets me through the weekend.
Hell yeah. And you know what? You know what we like on weekends that dogs don't get?
What?
Beer. Until now.
What are you talking about, man? Like, I always feel bad when you see, like, you're out and you're hanging out at, like, a barbecue or something like that, and everybody's grabbing a beer, having a good time, and you just see the sad looks on dogs' faces. So, what do you mean? Is there a way that we can include our dogs in this great ritual?
Hell yeah. They now have dog beer. So before we start, it is very bad to give your dog actual beer. You could probably kill him or at very worst hurt him badly, like chocolate. Don't give him chocolate. But now they make a dog beer that is safe for dogs to drink while you are enjoying your favorite brew.
Well, yeah, because it's the carbonation too, right? Like,
yeah,
dogs
they can't have carbonation.
Belch. Yeah. So what do you mean there's dog beer? That makes no sense.
Okay, it has no alcohol. No hops, no carbonation. It has barley malt, dandelion, flax, which sounds they're going to shit their brains out, and chicken flavoring. So you can enjoy your favorite chicken-flavored beer along with your dog now.
I was reading this article that you sent me about this dog beer, and at first I was like, come on, man. If it doesn't get your dog jacked up, there's no real reason to have dog beer, right? But then the article made a really valid point for me, and that point was beers among friends is a very social interaction. It's a social thing to do. You grab a beer with your friends, you're hanging out, you're enjoying the social groupings and bonding experience of being together. And so having dog beer is just a way to include your animal in this social experience where they feel like they're part of the club. And I can get behind that. Like, yeah. I can totally support that.
Yeah, my dog is totally my best friend. He does everything I say. He kisses me in the morning, and at night, he's a nice guy. Yeah, like you said, the male bonding. What's interesting, and I never formulated this into my head before, but the last article mentions male bonding is one of the most important things for men to experience in their lives, so they don't turn out like weirdos like Norman Bates. Because
right.
He just hung out with his mom, and we see how well that did for him. And
that's right. Nobody invented mom beer.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. If you're hanging out with your mom every day of the week, I think you might need a new friend.
Yeah, no joke. So yeah, I can totally get behind the idea of hanging out, and I can see my dog unfortunately passed away a few years ago. I had him for like 7 years. Super cool dog. Did everything with this dog. We'd go camping. We'd go on canoes and stuff like that. But I can totally see if you're camping and it's just you and your dog and you're just sitting out by the fire and you crack open a cold one and then crack open a dog beer and you're just like sitting out by the fire chilling. Like, I can see how that would feel good, you know?
Oh, yeah, totally. You're like, I got my buddy here and we're both having a brew. Definitely a good talking point for when those strange people come over to your campfire looking for friends, and you're like, what is your dog drinking? Beer.
Beer.
Yeah, and then they call the animal shelter on you, and you lose your dog. And
no, I don't know, man. That's such a good talking point, right? People are saying, well, I thought it was bad to give dogs beer. It's like, I mean, it is, unless you're like in the know and you listen to Monday Club and you know that there's cool stuff called dog beer.
Yeah. I found this on brobible.com too. So This is the first article I've read from them, so I might read more now.
All right, Bro Bible, that's pretty awesome. Well, here, cheers to drinking a cold one with your best four-legged friend, and to bonding with your friends, and to all of you Monday Clubbers out there, cheers.
Speaking of beer, mine is not turkey flavored or chicken flavored or dandelion flavored. I'm drinking a Sierra Nevada Orta Vez. It's a ghost style ale, all brewed with cactus and grapefruit. It is very good. I like it. It's sweet and a little tart at the same time. I think it's got that grapefruity finish on it. Definitely a sipper. It's a little sweet to drink a ton of it, which is cool because seems like a nice summer porch sipper right here. So I do like it.
Nice. I'm drinking Fireman's 4. It's a blonde ale from the Real Ale Brewing Company, which is based in Blanco, Texas, which is the same area of Texas that my friends who have the whiskey distillery, the Andalusia whiskey distillery in Blanco, Texas. So this is a Fireman's 4. It's a blonde ale. It's a great summer beer. Blonde ales are great, cold, just chillin' beers, you know?
So you're more of a fan of the blonde ales over the brunette ales?
Yeah. I don't think I don't discriminate. It just so happens that that's what popped up for this.
Do you think blonde ales have more fun than brunette ales or amber ales?
I didn't see it get ready for my bottle, so I don't know if it's a natural blonde ale.
Oh,
you know,
could be masquerading.
It could be masquerading. That's right. And that's the end of all of the jokes that I know about dyeing your hair.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to Monday Club. Thank you guys for joining us on Mondays and hanging out and making Monday the new Saturday. Make sure you check us out on iTunes. Give us a little love up there. Give us a little rating. Tell a friend about us. Have someone, a friend of yours, join in on the fun. And if you guys want to buy us a drink or even just recommend a drink, mondayclubpodcast@gmail.com. We will answer all your mail questions and comments there.
Dude, are you excited as I am about how the Monday Club is starting to just snowball down a hill and get bigger and bigger?
Yes. You know what I like about snowballs? The less rotations it takes to get bigger as it gets bigger.
Dude, I guess that is absolutely true.
To extend your metaphor to literalism.
That got sciencey. That was pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah, man, I am just super stoked to watch the numbers of the Monday Club grow. I want to give a special shout out to a most recently identified fan, Mr. John O'Brien. Gave me a call. He's a magician based out of San Antonio. Gave me a call and was just like, hey, man, I love Monday Club, and I got to say that the best compliment that I can give you is that I was listening to Monday Club. I was binge listening because I was on a long trip to get to a gig, and I got to the most recent episode. I finished that episode, and when that episode was over, I was so sad because I didn't have any more episodes of Monday Club to listen to. And I was like, John, that's the coolest, best review that I think I could have ever gotten from Monday Club. So shout out to John O'Brien. Kudos, man.
Wow,
welcome
John.
to the club.
Wow, thank you so much, man. That is awesome. You know, I think I've met John on occasion, but I feel like I know him better because he's like a good friend of all the Texas folk that I'm friends with. And like I always see him online and stuff and comments and stuff like that. So I feel like I know him a little better than I probably do. But
I'm like that with a lot of Facebook. Did that for me. There's a lot of people on Facebook that I feel like I'm friends with, and we talk back and forth all the time, or I find out what's happening in their lives and vice versa. Anyway, and then they say something like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna be here," and I'm like, "Okay, cool, I'll meet you there." And then I think about it, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude, I don't think we've ever met in person. We just know each other through Facebook. like that's weird."
Yeah, let's go out for drinks. Random person I've met 10
right.
years ago.
What are you going to be wearing? Because I don't know
with.
what you look like.
Yeah, I've totally done that. Or someone I haven't seen in years and years, but every once in a while we'll comment on each other's posts, and then all of a sudden you're in their hometown. But I guess that's what Facebook is for, right?
No, I think Facebook is for trying to see how many people wish you happy birthday on Facebook.
Oh, yes, true. You know, if I don't wish you happy birthday on Facebook, don't take offense to it. I think I've stopped doing that because it's just started to mean nothing. Or does it? If I'm friends with you, I will text you over Facebook messaging you.
Oh, dude, I could be friends with you, and I would not send you a text on your birthday. But like my morning ritual is my alarm goes off, I wake up, I go to the bathroom. While I'm doing my thing, I just go down the list of people whose birthday it is and I say, hey, happy birthday. So like
Really, to everybody?
yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
So if it's your birthday and you got a happy birthday Facebook post from me, I was totally taking a shit while I said that to you.
Man, I've definitely gotten a happy birthday from you on Facebook, so I know what you were doing. You don't feel like it gets a little bit less meaningful though? With like, I guess I do appreciate everybody who takes time to say happy birthday to me on Facebook. Maybe I'm just conceited and I want my happy birthday to mean more than everybody's else's. Is that it? Am I just an ego-driven happy birthday giver?
I think so, man, because for me, I've had some pretty shitty birthdays where I was sitting around by myself on my birthday, no big plans for my birthday, but getting those Facebook updates like, hey, 120 people just commented on your birthday on Facebook. I think that's kind of a boost. Like, even if you're like, what I'm basically saying is you don't know how your post affects whoever it is. So even if all it says is HB exclamation point and that's it, that might mean something to somebody. And especially you being a performer, like there's people that I've become friends with on Facebook that are just, people that were in the crowd that we had some sort of connection or something like that, and they followed me on Facebook. And so, yeah, man, I think that that's a valid way to continue that relationship, and it might mean a lot to them. You never know. So you don't even have to take extra time. Just, first thing in the morning, when you're getting up, taking that extra minute and just show them some love on Facebook.
Gus, you changed my mind. I'm going to now wish everybody on my friends list who pops up a happy birthday every morning. Because I just Googled this, and there's a site that will wish people happy birthday automatically on your friends list when it's their birthday. So,
Jesus Christ! Well, then you just ruined it, man. Now it's not you.
Now it's a robot. Seriously, I will take the time to write you a happy birthday message once, and then it'll send it to you every year on your birthday.
That's funny. All right. Well, if you get a happy birthday message from Pete anytime after this episode, just know he doesn't give a shit about you. It's just a robot that he's programmed.
But I care about you enough to Google something to make it easier on myself. Oh, man.
Oh, that's
Dude,
funny.
I bought a new car. Remember, it was last week or the week before, I was saying don't buy a CRV because they're a pain in the back. Well,
right.
I pulled the trigger. It's been a year and a half and 45,000 miles with back pain and aching nights and neck pain and stiffness and knots in my back. And I finally broke down and bought a new car. And the reason why I waited too long is because I'm a fucking cheap-ass frugal man that does not want to spend money because of a stupid mistake I made.
So did you take advantage of the 4th of July sales?
No, I bought a used car, new to me. It's a Honda Pilot. I stayed with Honda despite having a poor back experience with the CRV, but the Pilots are huge, man, and that seat is so comfortable. I already noticed a difference. I've done a few couple-hour trips already with it, and going to sleep is amazing. I don't have to reposition a million times. And then I wake up and my back feels loose and my neck, I can twist my head. Yeah, I can twist my head now. It's wonderful.
So did you take the Monday Club advice that you gave? Did you sit down in this car and just sit there for 30 minutes before you made the decision on which car to buy?
Sort of. I did 2 test drives. I did one test drive a week before in a car that I didn't want. It was a Pilot, but it had too many miles, and I liked that. And that was probably a 15-minute test drive. And then I did another test drive with the car I picked out. It was at another dealership, and they drove it up for me to sit in and approve. And I test drove that one. So I would say I was in it for about 30 minutes total.
All right.
It was it's so nice, and I can fit my entire show and extra stuff in the back. And there's a third row. I can fit 8 people. It's like a party SUV. It's pretty sweet.
That sounds dangerously close to a minivan, my friend.
But it looks badass, man. It's like
Look, I'm not going to hate on you because honestly, minivans. If you're a minivan driver and you become the designated driver, that is the party bus. Like that's great. You got plenty of room for everybody.
You know what's the main difference between this and a minivan is?
What?
I can tow a boat.
Oh, all right. Well, look, you can be manly and still keep 8 people and 3 babies.
I can take an entire family of 8 on my boat.
That's awesome. Well, I think that deserves a Monday Club cheers, man. Congrats. You got a new car.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. And I'm going on a staycation tomorrow. Have any advice to help me relax and unwind over this next week where I will be trying to do just that?
Dude, I have 2 philosophies when I'm on vacation, and I don't know if this is going to help you or not, but philosophy number 1 is I want to make memories. I don't really care that much about relaxing. I really try to go for the memory versus the relaxation. So try things that you don't normally do. Put yourself in a weird position, like doing an escape room like we were talking about last week, or I don't know, man, try going and getting a mani-pedi even though that's not something you like doing. Like, try something new, and at the absolute worst, you'll have a fun story to tell about it, and at the best, you'll have something that you've never really tried before that you're like, oh crap, that was fun. So that's advice number 1. And advice number 2, try some new drinks. Like, don't just go with your go-tos. Try some new drinks because you never know. You might. This is your chance to take permission to experience new things. And so, yeah, try some new drinks, see what you think, and maybe you'll have some new recipes to share on Monday Club.
All right, I am going to make a note for myself. Can you hear that? I'm making a note.
Yep.
To try something new. I will try to do that. I've got the drink covered. I always try the local beer when I'm in town, or get the flight of beers when I'm at a restaurant that has a good selection.
Dude, beer flights are my absolute favorite because it's beers that you've never tasted before, so that's always fun. If you don't like a few of them, that's fine. You only have, 4 ounces or 2 ounces?
Totally, you're not wasting.
You're not wasting. And then last but certainly not least, it is one of my personal, I just get giddy when at the end of the night you look at your table and there's 150 shot glasses just thrown about in the center of the table. That makes me so happy. It just looks like you had a party, you know?
Yeah, totally. I'm with you on the beer flights, man. And when you check into the Untapped app, it looks like you've drank a million, 50 beers in 2 hours.
That's right. That's really fun. Well, so speaking of us growing up, today, quite literally an hour and a half before we started recording Monday Club, all of my loans and inspections and appraisals and everything like that went through for this house that we're trying to purchase. So, Monday Clubbers, I might not be homeless anymore. Yeah!
That deserves a huge toast, my man. Very good job. Congratulations on getting money.
Oh my God! So this adulting thing has got to stop after this. I want slip and slides and bouncy houses for at least a year. That's all.
How many moves is this going to be for the summer?
This is 7. This will be the 7th move for the summer when this is all over. So yeah,
that's awful. That's awful.
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
But this will be the last move for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, this will be the last one for at least 2 to 3 years.
Nice. I was on Facebook today, go figure, and I saw that the new season of Penn and Teller Fool Us just started airing last night, and I got to see clips from the magicians that had performed last night, and it took me back to 2 years ago when I was on Penn and Teller Fool Us.
How was your experience with that, buddy?
It was awesome. I had a wonderful time. The reason why I was on, everyone always says, how do you get on TV? And I was just like that. And I still am. It's after it happens, you're like, how do I get on TV again? But you try probably most of your career trying to figure out how to get on TV. And then basically my buddy Norm, guest from this show, a Monday Club creator as well, and he was cast, and then he said, hey, I know somebody else you guys might like, and referred me over, and I sent in a video, and a day or two later, they said, yeah, we want you. And I was like, wow, that was it?
That didn't seem too hard. Yeah. So it was funny when Fool Us first came on, it sounded like, it just seemed like so many people that I know either tried out or got on that show. And the thing that I heard most from those people was that they did a really good job of trying to make you look as good as possible versus some reality TV shows where what they really want is the train wrecks.
Yeah.
That's really what they're going for.
Totally.
But was that your experience? Did you feel like you had people that were really from the show that were really trying to help you look as good as possible?
Oh, 100%. And I'm a big fan of Penn Jillette, and I listen to his podcast as well. So I kind of had an insight as to what they are doing. So I got the vibe from him through his podcast that they try to make everybody look good, and they're not going to pull an America's Got Talent or an American Idol on you and make you look like a doofus. I like that word, doofus. And so, yeah, they
Bring it back.
They were
That's
awesome.
right.
They just wanted to make you look good. They would work with you and try to really make your performance shine for TV and do the best job you can. And it's funny because most viewers of that show miss the point completely of the show. The obvious point of that show is to try to fool Penn and Teller. Obviously that's what I get asked all the time when people learn I was on the show. Did you fool them? And I say no, but I knew I wasn't going to fool them going in because I knew they knew what I was going to be doing. And really the point of that show is to have a really great magic show on TV where there's no camera tricks because you're trying to fool Penn and Teller who are sitting right there. And with so many recent magic specials and stuff, there's been a lot of liberal use of the camera, we'll say. And
all right.
But on this show, it was just kind of mostly serious amateurs and a lot of pros that got to go and kind of showcase their self. And some even had some great stuff that could fool them. So, and that's really what I think the show is about. The hook is to try to fool them, of course, but the real thing is just getting out there and putting on a good show, and then occasionally get those foolers in there as well.
Well, it's really cool of them to have a format that it allows magicians to have a space to get on TV, to get some airtime, and at the same time not be under too much pressure, right? Like I think a lot of American Idol or America's Got Talent, those kind of things, man, it's like a make or break thing for your career. I don't think that's what Fool Us is. I think Fool Us is really just a platform for you to have when someone says, hey, what's your last national showcase? You can say, hey, I was just on this show and explain that. I think that's a really good talking point. So, kudos to them. Kudos to them. That was really cool of them to create that kind of concept.
Yeah, and probably one of the coolest things about that whole experience is that I got to work with Johnny Thompson and Michael Close. These are two legends of magic. Johnny Thompson is like double, triple legend. He's like I remember reading about him in books when I was 11 years old, So
yeah, like a real life superhero.
Yeah, and I saw pictures of him in a book that described his act. So I was like visualizing what he did. I never saw it. And then years later, I saw him at a magic convention actually do his act. And same with Michael Close. I got to see him in action when I was a teenager at a magic convention. And then I'm getting to work with these guys. These guys are like helping me put my material on TV for everybody. And that was really awesome, and they really cared, and that was really, really exciting to work with them.
Do you feel like the trick, because you did magic slates on Fool Us, right?
Yes, yeah, the chalkboards.
Do you feel like that trick got better for your experience going on that show?
Yeah, I actually changed my live show version to more of what we did on TV because they were trying to crystallize the kind of the essence of the story and of the trick. The TV edit actually cut out pretty much the whole backstory to the to the trick because it's a ghost story, and I really condensed the ghost story to the really important parts for TV, but they cut it out anyways, which is funny because Penn actually comments me on my storytelling, and in the performance you really don't see much of a story. You just kind of see the magic trick.
So this week I've been driving. I've had 4 shows in different cities that are about 2.5 hours away from me. So I've been on the road about 5 hours a day, just driving back and forth. And I've gone through a whole lot of podcasts and other audiobooks and stuff like that. And today I was driving, and do you know the podcast This American Life?
Yeah, I actually just started listening to that.
Okay, well, Monday Clubbers, and especially Monday Clubbers who are interested in magic at all, which if you're listening to this podcast, maybe you have some slight interest in magic. There is, on This American Life, episode number 619, released July 2nd. It's called The Magic Show, and it turns out that, I think his name is Ira Glass, was an amateur magician, like from the time he was I don't know, like a kid through high school. And him and one of the other producers ended up that they were both kid magicians. And so they started talking about their experience as a magician. And they have Penn Jillette come on, Penn and Teller both are on this episode talking about what it is to be a magician and stuff like that. So anyway, there's some really, really awesome points about the art of magic and the idea of creating an effect and stuff like that. And the question that they ask, which I think is such an amazing question to ask yourself as a magician, is thinking back to the idea of when you were doing a show as a kid, which I know you did, right, Pete? You did when you were like a teenager, you did magic shows for birthday parties and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. The question was I good? Right? And I think that's such a great question. And Ira was talking about how for some of his shows that he got like $5. I remember the first time I got $50 to do a magic show. I was like 15 years old. I did an outdoor magic show, and I'm sure I was not worth the $50 that they paid me. So what about you, man? The same question. Do you think you were good when you were a kid?
That's the same exact amount of money I got when I did my first show at 16. And I actually know the answer to this, and the answer is no. I was not good, because I have my very first public appearance on record, on tape, and there's clips of it on my YouTube channel, a vlog I did about it. So if you want to see how bad I was, you're welcome. But you know what's weird? For the first show, I don't think it was terrible. Like, it's not good, but there are cringeworthy moments that I did not show on my YouTube channel. More cringeworthy than what I showed, but no, I probably wasn't worth $50. You know, if you were like 40 years old doing that, the exact level that you did your first show, they would definitely complain and want their money back. Would you think?
Yeah, I think that's probably true, but I think there's something magical. I think, like, now that I'm a dad, if we had a birthday party and some neighborhood kid that did magic wanted to do a magic show for us, like, I don't know, we ran into him and he's like, hey, can I do your magic show? It's only $50. I think I would say hell yeah, and be super supportive of that kid, because that was me.
Oh, totally, totally.
Yeah,
but if you're judging, if you're putting like that 15-year-old version up against like a 40-year-old person, the same skill level as your 15-year-old self, right? You're going to like make fun of the 40-year-old, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah,
you're going to
I think
support the
that's the
15-year-old.
Yeah. If you're starting magic and you're 40 years old, first of all, kudos, welcome to the club. Second of all, you better be good before you do your first show, because otherwise people are going to make so much fucking fun of you for the rest of your life, and everyone's going to have you on YouTube, all right? Versus a 15-year-old or a 13-year-old going out there and doing a show for the first time. At the absolute worst, everyone's going to say, oh, that was so cute. Look at his little cape.
Oh yeah, that's true. Wear a cape and a hat, and you'll get the cute right off the bat.
Yeah, you'll get the cute points, man.
So definitely check out Penn and Teller Fool Us. It's a great show on the CW.
Yeah, and check out that episode of This American Life with Ira Glass that's called The Magic Show. It was definitely worth a listen. So because they need the Monday Club bump, let's give Penn and Teller and also This American Life.
They should have gotten us for that episode, damn it.
All right, well, that brings us to...
Hey, it's time for Stories from the Road. All right, so my Conjuring at the Colony show in Kennebunkport is off to a great start. We've had 3 great first weeks, and we're getting close to, I think we're going to break, we sold, the place holds about 80 people, and we might be able to bring in more chairs to make it to 100, and we sold 51 tickets last show, so we're about half sold out.
Oh, yeah, man. Cheers
Thanks,
to that.
man. In 2 weeks, and next week we have the biggest amount of pre-sales, so hopefully we'll break 60 next week or even more, and I was doing my show the other night there, and there was this little, I don't know, 5-year-old girl. And it's not, this isn't a kid's show, but, there's families that come in, and that's cool. And I really enjoy performing for families. But there's this 5-year-old girl, and before the show, I have some pre-show music playing, and she was up in the performing area, the staging area, and she was dancing, and everybody was like looking at her and laughing, and it was really cute. And then during the show, I'm thinking to myself, I got to get this girl up here for something, And there's a trick in my show that's easy enough that I need a volunteer to help me with, and it's great if I bring up a young person. So I called her up, and the entire time, she's got her right index finger shoved all the way up her right nostril.
Oh, no!
It was the cutest thing. It got so bad. Her dad, everyone was, of course, laughing and giggling and being like, oh, that's the most adorable thing ever. And her dad comes over and is like, hey, and takes her aside so, she wouldn't embarrass herself.
Right.
But she's 5, so how embarrassed can you be? And, tells her to stop picking her nose on stage. And
my God.
And then I kind of like, usher her back onto stage to finish the trick, and I whisper to her, but everybody can hear it because I'm mic'd, obviously. I say, you're not supposed to let people see you do that. And and it got a
and she
laugh.
looks at you and she's like, well, that double lift you did? You're not supposed to let everybody see that either.
Oh, that would have hurt, actually. I would have been really sad. But it was hilariously cute, and she increased the entertainment value of my show tenfold.
Dude, that's funny, man. Did you shake her hand afterwards, or did you knuckle?
Oh shit! I might have shaken her hand.
Gross. Kids are gross.
Yeah,
kids are just germ factories.
I got some germs.
Yeah. So, are you? I know you said you're going on vacation next week. Are you going to have your vacation friends come and see your show? How does that going to work?
Yeah, we have one of my best friends from Florida. His wife and child is coming up, and he's going to stay with us for a week. And yeah, hopefully they're gonna come to the show. I mentioned it to them, so I'm gonna bring them to the show, and if they want to, we'll see.
Well, good luck with that, man. I hope you don't suffer from the magician's curse, and I'm not trying to curse you, bro, but the deal is usually that the shows that you want to be awesome when your friends are there are always like the roughest shows. So again, I'm not putting any bad juju on you. I'm just saying, next week, I can't wait to hear how that one went because it's always, only twice in my life have I invited people to come see my show, and I've been on a run of shows that have just been all super rock star. And then the last show that I had my friends come to, they were sitting in the audience, and it was just a fucking train wreck from start to finish. So anyway, good luck with that, bro.
Thanks, man. I think I've had a split. I'd say I'm 60% good shows friends come to. I think I've beaten the odds in this, and 40% bad. Yeah, so it's kind of split. So I don't have that stigma, I guess, as much in my head.
Nice. Okay, so last week was an amazing week for me. I had a really good time. Everything was cool. I was doing a lot of office work. A friend of mine had a birthday party. I went over and hung out with my friend. And I think everyone has this friend. I have a friend that every time I go over there, there's a 50-50 chance that I get hurt. Like, we go dirt biking, we shoot guns, we do throwing knives, we drink and barbecue and all of that stuff. Just a good friend from high school. And this time we were going dirt biking. I was the third one on this dirt bike, and apparently the person before me had turned off the gas. There's like a little switch that you can turn the gas on and off. And so I did 2 laps on their dirt bike track, and I was getting ready to go over some of their jumps that they had made. And it was like the perfect storm, worst nightmare humanly possible. But I started going towards the jump, and the gas just like the whole bike just redlined. It just like revved all the way up, and it got to the spot where I had 2 choices. Like, if I let go of the clutch at all, I knew I was just gonna crash and burn. And like, there's no off switch. Like, I have to do something, and I'm headed towards a thing that I can't avoid. So I try to put it in neutral, and I miss neutral. I think I probably get it down to first gear or something like that. I let go of the clutch, and this dirt bike just flies out from between my legs, falls on top of me. I ended up twisting my wrist and my ankle. I skinned the hell out of my right elbow, so like just my elbow skin is completely hanging off, and I bruised my shoulder, and all of that sucked really, really bad. But of course, this last week, I've had 7 shows that are like either in town or out of town. So I've just been like braced up. Like I have an ankle brace, a wrist brace. I have a giant bandage on my elbow. I usually have like an ice pack or something like that on my shoulder. And I just come limping into all of my shows. And then during the show, I figured out how to do my act without ever moving my left wrist. So it's like I'll do a card fan, and then I just slowly rotate like I'm in a fucking music box or something like that, just to show the other sides of the cards, and then I rotate back, and then I just keep going with my thing. It's been awful. So if you can avoid crashing like that before a long run of shows, or before you have to be presentable in front of people, like it's so bad I can't shave. Like I couldn't shave left-handed because my wrist is all jacked up and my other shoulder is all jacked up. So I've been rocking like this weird hipster look throughout my shows this week. Like it's just been terrible.
Dude, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
You were in a motorcycle accident. Did you have a helmet on?
Oh, yeah. I was, I was
good.
as safe as humanly possible, and honestly, it wasn't my fault. Like, this totally wasn't my fault that the gas got turned off and it revved up on me like that. But, it still happened. And, and the worst part is, because it was a motorcycle accident, because it was a dirt bike accident, and I was hanging out with that friend of mine, right? Like, no one gave me any sympathy at home. Like, I came home and my wife was like, well, of course it hurts. You were being stupid. And, like, nobody helped. I'm like,
it's your own damn
into the
fault.
bathroom and all that shit. Like, it was just no fun at all.
Like, someone undo my zipper, I gotta pee.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd be like, well,
your
someone should have thought harder before getting on a motorcycle. How about that? God damn it.
Your description of showing the back of something during your magic show reminds me of Steve Martin's bit where he makes a magic wand disappear, and then he has his arm straight off to the side, and he's not bending his elbow. Like, he put the wand up his sleeve, and it's in his... or it's a candle or something. I think it's a candle.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
And it's in his sleeve, and then he just kind of breaks it. I don't know. That was a funny moment. I can just picture you, like, everyone's like, it's in his sleeve, it's in his sleeve. No, it's not. We'll bend your elbow. I can't.
Fuck off, kids. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been rough this last week. Like, finally, I'm to the point where I can move my shoulder. I have some flexibility in my wrists and stuff like that. My ankle is less twisted, so I can walk without a crazy limp. But, oh my God, man, the last 5 shows that I've done have just been rough trying to get to and set up and all that stuff. So, anyway, that's my story from the road. Try to avoid that.
No 2 wheels for me, man. I do not ride dirt bikes. They're dangerous.
I'll tell you what.
From what I hear.
I went through a weird phase. I actually have my motorcycle license, and I got it not because I wanted to get a motorcycle, but I got it because I had this idea in my head when I was in my young 20s that if the world went to shit, if the zombie apocalypse actually happened, and I'm stuck in the Sahara Desert, and I'm running away from fast-moving zombies, and I look, and there's an oasis with a motorcycle just sitting right there, gassed up and ready to go so I can escape these zombies. If I got to that motorcycle and I was unable to ride it because I didn't know how motorcycles worked, I'd be so pissed at myself.
You make a good
I'd just
point.
be so mad. Yeah.
You make a very good point.
Yeah, so I learned, I literally got my motorcycle license for the sole purpose that in the event of an emergency and there's a perfectly good vehicle sitting right there, I'd like to know how to ride it. And so, yeah, that's literally the only reason I got my motorcycle license.
All right, I need to go. Who wants to teach me how to ride a motorcycle? I'm in. I need it, and I need a crossbow too.
Oh yeah, I'm like that with guns. I'm like that with parachutes. Like, I really have no desire to jump out of a perfectly good airplane with a parachute. Like, none.
Have you ever?
I do not think that's exciting.
You ever been skydiving?
No, I've never been skydiving. But I'll tell you what, for that same philosophy, I will learn how to skydive at some point in time in my life, because in the event that I'm on a plane and the plane is infested with zombies.
Or snakes.
And some hot stewardess is like, hey, I've got one extra parachute. Let's jump out of here and land in Venice. If I don't know how to do it, I'm screwed. And so, no, that's not happening. Like, I'm going to learn how to do this.
I have actually skydived, so I'm one ahead of you on this one.
Are you? Was it scary?
It was very scary. Yeah. It was the month I turned 18. It was me and my three best friends from high school. They were all waiting. It was our senior year, and they were all waiting for me to turn 18 so I could go sign my life away and actually do it. And we went to this little place in Pittsfield, I think, Maine. And when I say it's a little place, we ride up, and it's just this little airfield, and we're pointed into the direction of the parachuters, and we go to the parachute place, and there's a car there, and the guy opens up his trunk and takes out some parachutes.
That sounds shady as shit.
and we went skydiving with this man. And
were you by yourself, or were you tandem?
Tandem. So we were strapped to his front, and we went 10,000 feet in the air in this little, I don't know, Cessna? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, a little prop plane thing.
Yeah, you could fit 4 people, I think, in there without seats in the back, and you're just like shaking, going up the whole way, and then you have to crawl out on the outside of the plane, and then fall. I actually have video of that. We paid extra and got video.
Oh, dude. That's just so everyone knows, that's about to get posted on Monday Club. So go to the website and check that out. It'll probably also be up on Facebook, too.
That's embarrassing video.
I'm sure it is.
I was flailing my arms and legs when I jumped out of the airplane.
I would too, man. I've heard 2 different stories when it comes to parachuting. That either you're exceptionally aware of how high you are, how fast you're falling, and all of the movement of it, and that the ground is rushing up to meet you, and that there's a thin sheet of nylon separating you from certain death. That's one. And 2, the other group of people is usually like, honestly, I hit a spot when I was parachuting that I stopped feeling motion. Like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, you just feel like you're stuck in midair and a big fan is blowing air at you. It's weird. Because the only reason why, you know that little funny feeling you feel in your stomach when you're going on roller coasters?
Yeah, totally.
That's the feeling of G-force, and you're feeling more than is naturally occurring. So that's the reason why you get that funny feeling. When you're in just a regular free fall and you hit terminal velocity, there's no extra feeling. It's weird. You'd never have that weird tingling feeling in your stomach. It's just it's a weird sensation. And then when the canopy opens up and you're just floating there, it's literally like you're floating in midair, and which you exactly are. And it's so weird not to be attached to the ground in some form. You know, your feet are dangling and you're just kind of like hanging in air.
Yeah, no, I get that. Dude, so I went scuba diving when I was 18 years old. I had just graduated college, and my friend and I, this same friend that I hurt myself with on the dirt bike, by the way, so, that's the correlation.
I think this guy, if you ever sign a life insurance agreement, they should have a little clause in there that says you can no longer be friends with this man.
I'm pretty sure it would be in there, dude. Anyway, him and I both got our scuba diving license, and we went scuba diving in Cozumel, and we decided to do a night dive. And the night dive was insane because we just got dropped off in the middle of the ocean. We went down probably only like 15 or 20 feet, and it was pitch black. We turned off our headlamp things, and it was pitch black, and it was the closest thing to being in outer space I can describe. I mean, I have a breathing apparatus, so that's how I'm keeping myself alive, but I don't know what's up, down, left, right. I don't know if there's a shark right behind me. I don't know how deep the water is. I know nothing. I'm just literally floating in complete blackness, and it was a weird experience to not have any orientation as to if you're up or down, left or right. And I can imagine that falling, like that experience that you're describing is very similar to the scuba diving experience of, I mean, this is just what's happening, body. Just get used to it,
Yeah, that sounds very, very cool and weird.
Speaking of being 18, Pete,
We are 18.
We are 18. This is our 18th episode.
Can you believe we made 18?
I can't, man. I really, honestly, I mean, from our first episode having my mic duct taped gaff taped to a pole in a hotel room in Baltimore, to today where I just got some brand new headphones that I'm doing this podcast on. Like, we have grown up a lot over the last 18 episodes. And here's the deal. Monday Club, we're coming up on something very special. Last episode, we were talking to our friend Eric Diddleman on the podcast, and he said, there's only a few milestones for after you turn 21. Before 21, 16, you can drive. 18, you can go to a strip club and vote, I guess. I don't know. And 21, you get to drink. So I'm doing a request for everyone out there in Monday Club world. Listen, we are creeping up dangerously close to our 21st episode. And on our 21st episode, that's basically our 21st birthday. I need you guys to send in drink requests for us, okay? I don't care if it's shots, beers, wines, whatever. Just send it in so that we can do all of that on air. We're going to make sure that we start off early in the morning so that we can, maybe sober up by the time we got to go pick up our kids. And I just need you guys to send in requests for us because we're going to have a pretty big blowout celebration on our 21st episode birthday.
Hell yeah.
But since this is our 18th episode birthday, we were thinking, what do you get to do when you're 18? The answer is go to a strip club.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, when you were 18, did your friends take you to a strip club?
You know what? I don't think I went to a strip club until I was 21. No, wait. Yes. First strip club I ever went to was New Year's. I think I was 19. Yeah, the New Year's I was 19, me and a group of friends went to Montreal for New Year's. For one reason, because we could legally drink alcohol. And so we spent New Year's Eve, and then we went to a strip club in that trip. And the strip club was called Super Sex, and it was on St. Catherine Street.
Cool.
If you know Montreal, you know St. Catherine Street. And we were so broke because it was actually the night after we went to New Year's. So it was kind of like the down night for everybody. And we were so broke after spending all our money on New Year's. We were like, we want to go to a strip club. So we should have pre-gamed. We didn't. Or maybe we did. But I just remember being dead ass sober, sipping on a Molson Canadian and trying to make that one beer last 3 hours so we could see naked women. Eventually, we got kicked out because we stopped buying drinks.
Oh my God, you got kicked out of the strip club?
They gently asked us to leave, and we were like, yeah, you're right, we should probably leave now.
That's awesome. So I had just turned 18, and a good friend of mine who I'm gonna let him remain anonymous, but a good friend of mine, we'll call him C. All right, a good friend of mine, C, was like, "Hey man, you just turned 18," and he's 10 years older than me. He's like, "Dude, let me take you out to a strip club," and I was so fucking nervous. I was like, Oh, okay. I guess that's cool. He's like, yeah. So he takes me out to this strip club, and the entire time. Oh, I should also say that C is a very well-known magician, okay? like, and was even back then. And so he takes me out to the strip club, and it was. I have never just profusely sweat like I was at that strip club when I was 18. I was so awkward, so nervous. And so we sat down, and he brought a bunch of beers in, and we had probably a 6-pack, and I probably got a lap dance or something like that. But anyway, like the entire time, it was just like terrible, sweaty, nasty, awful experience. And finally, he was like, "Dude, we got to cure you of being nervous at the strip club. This is their job, and our job is just to be here, right?" And I was like, I guess. He's like, "Look, pick one. Just pick one and have them come over." I was like, "Oh, all right. I don't know." And I look, and I see like this super pretty girl, and I was like, "How about her?" He's like, "Great." So he goes over, and it's like, "Hey, it's my friend's 18th birthday. Can you come over and give him a lap dance?" And so she did, and she was super sweet and tried to make it as nice as possible. And you know, I was I probably lost all blood from my face. Like, it was just terrible.
Where did
anyway,
that blood
she got
go,
up
Gus?
Oh yeah, well, it was rough. And so she got up and she left, and he looked me right in the eye and he was like, "Hey man." I was like, "Hey." He's like, "Hey. Dude, do you think she could tell?" And he lifts up his hands, and he's palming 12 bottle caps in his hands. He's like, "Do you think she could tell I was palming 12 bottle caps, or did I make it?" And, I was like, and that just, like, that weird disconnect, like, solved my problem of being scared from strippers, like, ever in my life. And I've had some crazy strip club experiences. Not that I go to the strip club all the time. Probably only been a handful of times in my life. But, like, I went once, and our stripper that sat down with us ended up being completely blind. And so, like, I've never had to deal with, like, a completely blind stripper before, but she was super cool. She ended up hanging out at her table for, like, 2 hours. It was super fun. Anyway, to Monday Club. Monday Club, you're 18 years old. 18 episodes old. Congratulations. We're super proud of you. We're proud of all of you out there, Monday Clubbers. So cheers to 18 episodes.
Hell yeah, man. And that brings us to
Teachable Moments.
Shout out goes to the one and only James Caldwell for putting that little jingle together. We finally have a little audio to play. Do you want to hear it again?
This is great. Yeah. Do it
Teachable
Moments.
Dude, I think we have amazing harmony.
It's pretty good. Look out, American Idol.
My teachable moment this week is cold brew coffee. I've talked about coffee before in my teachable moments. I've said Keurig sucks. French press is the way to go. I still believe that, but you know what's better than French press? Cold brew coffee. It is so delicious. I've always liked cold brew. I've gotten it from Dunkin' and Starbucks and wherever anyone else makes cold brew. And it is such a smoother coffee, and it's less acidic. It's just easier. I don't know. It just has more of a smooth coffee taste and is less harsh because it has that less acidity. And I bought a little thing off of Amazon for like $30 with a filter. And anyways, you let it brew. You put the grinds in this filter, and then you pour the water over it, and you let it sit in your fridge. You put cold water, not hot water, and you let it sit in your fridge for 20 to 24 hours, and that brews in that coldness. And then you take out the grinds, and then you have amazing cold brew coffee. You can even heat it up if you want a hot cold brew coffee. That sounds weird, but you could have a hot cold brew coffee. So I recommend this summer getting some cold brew coffee in the morning. It's delicious.
Very nice, very nice. All right, well, after I move for the 7th time, maybe I'll try this French press and this cold brew coffee thing. Right now, I'm on the bare minimums of everything at our house. My teachable moment is this. I took my son to a pinball arcade yesterday, and it was so much fun sharing like old school games. They had like Street Fighter and the thing where the alligators come up and you got to whack them with a stick. Like, it was so much fun to do that. But we started playing pinball, and I'm like a grown man. Like, I've lived my entire life with pinball machines. I know what those things are. And I had a guy come up to us, and he gave me a tip. And the tip was, if the pinball is falling down towards like that dead center dead zone between the two flapper things that kick it up, don't hit the flapper things. Let it bounce off. There's a little tiny peg in there that if it hits center, it'll bounce back up and you can keep playing. But if you try to use the flippers at all, it'll make it go off course, so it won't hit that peg and it'll just go right down. And it changed my game forever. Like, instead of just being out within the first 3 minutes of playing pinball, I was able to play like one round of pinball for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. It was incredible. It like changed my life. So there you go, Monday Clubbers. If you're playing pinball and you see it coming right towards that dead zone between your flippers, don't try to hit the flippers. Let them just rest. Trust in the way that physics works. It's going to bounce off and you get to keep playing.
That's a great tip, man. I love pinball, and I never do that. I always just slam those freaking paddles and want to hit it.
And I actually noticed what was happening. I would hit the paddles, knowing that it was going to miss. It would hit that little center thing, and then because my paddles are coming back down, it wouldn't come straight back up. It would get hit by those flappers and go into the out thing, and then you're done with that ball. So, yeah, just trust physics, trust Gus, trust Monday Club. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Trust in Gus.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much for freaking listening. 18 episodes and still going. Want to make sure that you guys check out MondayClubPodcast.com, Facebook.com/MondayClubPodcast. At Twitter, you can go at MondayClubPod, Instagram at MondayClubPodcast, or email us, MondayClubPodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, we're trying to get drink requests for our 21st episode. Send those in. Huge thank you to James Caldwell, our sound engineer. Special thanks to Zach Holder for our music. From Pete Waugh and Gus Davis, you guys have a happy Monday.
Happy 18th episode, Monday Club! We're going to a strip club!